So anyway, you're making your way back, Paul. How I don't know, how improbable a win was that, considering how I thought they were coming undone in the first two periods with all the penalties, and it was the kingpin guys taking the penalties. I was starting to really get worried about them for the first time since, like, I don't know, the new year. And they played a great third period.
I would agree with you for the first period. The second, I thought they were okay. I thought they were starting to get out of it a little bit. Luukkonen looked really good. Luukkonen said he was really feeling it by the second period, because Montreal scored that power play goal right at the end of the first, and now the fans are buzzing. But in retrospect, looking back, it was probably the best time for the Sabres to give that up, because it shut the crowd up because intermission came. Instead of the crowd just going for like ever and ever and ever.
This is the old. You don't want to give up that last minute goal, but you're saying maybe in this case it was beneficial. If you're going to give one up, give it up then.
Yeah, if you're going to give up the power play goal, do it then.
Yeah.
And then let's get everybody calmed down again. And they were fine, and they got a break. I mean, they're on their own power play, and Thompson rips the puck in off the stanchion, and I'm sure Dobish thought he was going to rim it around the boards, and he's not really looking, and the puck comes right at him off the stanchion, like right on the goal line from the boards all the way in, and it hits him either in the skate or the pad and goes in. So you get a break there, and it's nice to get a break, just like Boston got a break on the Geeky goal. From center ice. So you get a break there. It's also a power play goal for you. It gets you going. Now you're no longer behind anymore. And now, all right, let's rev it up and let's get rolling. But honestly, guys, I think the biggest part of that game, the changing part of that game, they had to kill a penalty for 2 minutes and 31 seconds to start. If Montreal scores there, I think it's going to be a really hard sell, because that place, they would have blown the roof off it, and they probably never would have stopped. But Buffalo killing it killed the crowd. It was the first time I could hear myself think in that building in two games. And
they did it pretty neatly. They did it pretty neatly.
They did. Luukkonen had to make some saves, but they weren't the bell ringers that he made on Caulfield earlier in the game when he came flying across on the power play twice on one-timers and stopped a 51-goal score. And I think that's what took it out of the crowd. It wasn't like, oh, we're close. No, we really aren't on this. Buffalo did a good job there. And that's when, all right, you got the crowd out of it finally. And I don't think the crowd was intimidating them as much as they did in the first game there. But still, you don't want them buzzing the way they go. So they get going, and they get going. And by that time, I was thinking, this is the Sabre team I'm used to seeing. They feel fine right now. They got energized off that penalty kill. They're thinking they're going to score and win this game, and that's exactly what happened. Then they got another power play on a double minor, and it was just fun to watch Benson. He's in front of the net, just a push which was enough to put the defenseman off balance, which gave him a chance to back off that defenseman, immediately opening the passing lane for Doan. Doan gets it there, and what a gorgeous move. I mean, just a skill move there to put it on the backhand and under the crossbar.
Wow.
To be able to get that goal. And here we are again talking about Benson and Newhook, the guys that are the guys maybe you weren't expecting to be running up the points in the playoffs, but they're both prominent in this game. And now you've got what turns out to be your game-winning goal on his 21st birthday. And they shut it down like they have so many times before. There were shots, but they were from the outside. I don't think Luukkonen had to make a great save for the rest of the period. He was making pedestrian saves from the outside. It's like, you want to shoot from out there, go. And the shots were 12-5, but I don't think anything. I think there was one really good scoring chance in there, and that was it. They did what the Buffalo Sabres do with a one-goal lead. And even Lindy Ruff said it, he recognized his team again, so it was a really good road win for them. And like we talked about yesterday, I think it was the most important game of the season. I think they had to win that game, and they did.
At the risk of asking a bad question or one that's just been answered, Was there anything intentional about the Thompson goal from what he did there?
I don't think so. No, he laughed when I said to him, I go, have you ever scored a goal like that?
Good that you asked.
Now,
Good that you
remember
asked.
the one he scored, what was it, the broken stick or what? I'm trying to think of he scored a goofy I can't think of what happened.
He's not trying to hit a target there.
It was in Chicago. And it somehow hit the backboard. I don't even remember how it all happened.
Right.
Okay.
But it was similar to that, but it wasn't exactly like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen a puck do that. It hit the corner.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was the boards or the stanchion, but it was the stanchion, and come right across the goal line from the corner all the way to the net. And Dobish wasn't expecting that. He probably never seen that either.
I guess I thought there's some reason. There might have been right to ask. There might have been some reason why he was trying to hit a certain spot.
Well, that corner, they talked about it on the telecast that it's the Zamboni doors. The stanchions are thicker there. They broke this down. I saw on Sportsnet too. So that's I think it's a good question to ask him if they on shoot-ins said like target those doors or that but if he says no, I was just throwing it in and he got lucky.
He was, I think, trying to rim it around.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because he threw it in hard. He was trying to rim it around. If that was a specific play that they saw, he obviously even wouldn't have been doing it to score. He would have been doing it to carry the puck out into the slot.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. What you think about Dobish on the play, and it's another part of that they were talking on ESPN about this, and again I saw some coverage of it on Sportsnet too, where like he doesn't come out to try to. A lot of times a goal, if he's guessing he's rimming this around. I think what I heard on Sportsnet was Montreal goalies know about the doors, and they won't go try to stop that behind the net because they're worried about it taking a funny bounce there. So they're supposed to stay in the net, and as it turns out, on this play, if he's out behind the net, that puck sails right through the crease because it wasn't going to go right in the net. If he's not there to bounce off of him, he would have been in the clear, but he stays in the net because of those doors, I think is what I heard.
Love it.
And I'm going to say this in question form to see what you guys think. With as hard as Thompson put it in, would the goalie even come out to stop it, knowing that it's going to come around fast if it does come around?
Right. Sometimes they will just punt on that, and it's possible he was going to anyways, but what I'm saying is even shoot-ins from the red line where you've got the time to go out, the goalie will often stay in the net if you hit that corner. It's the second period, so it's only one period each game that they got to worry about it for themselves. But that the goalie knows to stay in.
And now, so do our guys if they didn't.
Right. They get back there.
I can tell you this, and I've learned this in that building, the Montreal Canadiens do have plays off the back wall.
Sure.
Where the defensemen intentionally, because those are probably the bounciest boards I've seen in the league, and they know it, of course. It's their home rink. So they actually practice it, like ripping it off the back wall, knowing maybe the angle the puck might come out at, and then actually do plays that way.
This is the Thompson goal in Game 1, although we don't know if Darlene did that on purpose, but it did. They got that bounce. It went to the right of the net, off the wall behind, right kind of in the middle, and bounced right out to Thompson with a tap-in. So
yeah, it's similar. Yeah, exactly. That's a great example. Those are plays that Montreal scores on from time to time because they run plays like that.
Well, Paul, overall, Luukkonen, you already referenced the saves in the second period on the one-timers by Caulfield were like, that is the high end. That's the steal you a game type athleticism that you can get with a goalie that has the skill set and the size that Luukkonen has. The second goal, the Caulfield power play goal right at the end of the first period, is the downside, where he's just he's not all buttoned up there. He's too hard going into the post, and he's off balance, and his leg lifts up, and the puck goes in the net. So that's.
Well, I misunderstood your tweet, and I was going to ask you because I didn't understand what you meant. I was thinking that's probably a bad goal to give up, that he'd want that back. But then I read your tweet, and I thought, well, maybe it's not a bad goal. You explained maybe why the pad came up.
Well, no, I think it's a bad goal. He's out of control. Like he has to slide so hard to get there that he hits the post. You watch it again. His upper body is like almost knocks I'm exaggerating now, but he slides too hard, and his body hits the post, and the momentum of that is what caused his left leg to lift up.
I understand.
So technically, he was just off his platform, and there's like 3 movements preceding that. Each one was a little late. So he's just it's a criticism I've levied against him. Really, I mean, you have to be elite to always be under control. But there was a situation where it got away from him pretty quickly, and it cost him.
Also, Timmins is tied up with somebody in front of the net there. ESPN sort of circled him on the intermission replay of that goal. Maybe the Sabres should have wanted him to slide.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
maybe.
then somebody's open in the slot.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
So anyway, I thought we got the best and the bad, the good and the bad with Luukkonen, and the good outweighed the bad because those 2 saves in the second were fantastic saves.
Yeah, I think that play we just talked about might have been the only one I would complain about.
Yeah, same here.
He was kicking rebounds into the corner. I mean, he was directing his rebounds where he wanted them to go. So there weren't too many that were popping in front of him that he had to worry about. There were a lot of things to like in the game about him.
Would you expect him to play tomorrow?
I was expecting when they went to Levi, because Ruff talked about it a couple times, how much he liked the alternating goalies.
Lion, yeah.
I said, I'm sorry. I
it's
okay.
I don't mean.
We're here
mean
for
to
you.
Do that.
4 letters, L.
Lion. But Lion played so well that he kind of, I think, felt he had to go with it. But I remember us talking about it. I was thinking maybe he was going to go back to the alternating once he replaced Luukkonen. But, I think he just felt, hey, well, let's keep going with it. But he loves the alternating goaltenders. So he might, and he said he did not blame any of this on Lion, but the fact remains the team gave up 9 goals with a goalie in and 2 more with the goalie out. And it just wasn't working, so why not try something different, maybe a shock value for the team? He had told Luukkonen that he was going to get another opportunity. He didn't know when, and it turned out to be this game. So he may go to that alternating and put Lion in for the next one, just because he likes it so much, and so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I normally, off of a performance like we saw last night from a goaltender, would say, of course he's going to stay in. Yeah. But I wonder if this is now a chance to really, for real, could he actually, that's it, we decided we're going to alternate from here on out. I don't care. Lion gets a shutout in Game 5, I'm going to Luukkonen in Game 6.
Wow.
And he never
it would take a lot for a guy to do that, but I want to leave the door open because I just feel like it's possible.
He never deviated in the regular season. Remember, Lion had the shutout in San Jose, but Luukkonen took his turn the next game.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter which goaltender did what. He was going to stay with the alternating until Lion had 3 starts, which weren't good, and then he went to Luukkonen.
It's so interesting. Either way, you can win. I don't want to say you can't win, but if whoever you go with falters, then you're such an easy mark.
Right.
I mean, you might just want to go Rochambeau at this point and leave it to chance.
Ruff has been doing great. He's been doing great with what he does. I mean, I was dead wrong about Helenus. I mean, I was worried about a 20-year-old kid going into that arena. He handled it beautifully.
What a night he had.
Paul, Lindy's got him out there in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, and deservingly so.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he was doing him a favor or anything.
Right.
I mean, it was deservingly so. And I asked Helenus about, when he left Buffalo and went back to Rochester, could he feel right away that from that experience he was a better player? And he said, absolutely. So that kind of helped him even spring him in better at the American Hockey League level and to come in. So I was dead wrong about all that. I mean, that Lindy Ruff knew what he was doing there. I really thought about the Schenn thing, and it turned out to be what I was thinking, that, he brings a lot of experience to the lineup, and he can kill penalties for you. I don't think he was planning on playing them all that much. Most, or at least half of his time on the ice was killing penalties, but he can calm you down. Hey guys, relax, calm down. I think that's what he was looking for there. And there wasn't, I didn't say to myself, boy, he looked bad there. With the little bit he played, I didn't have any problem with him.
I had one of those, and I was not calmed down by his presence. Like, who's 5? Who's 5? Who invited 5?
So again, I will give Lindy Ruff credit for that one, because you're not thinking against a speed team to put Schenn in, but Schenn can also play the left side. I don't believe he did, but he can play the left side.
I saw him on the right. Yeah.
And Timmins wound up playing like 21, 22 minutes, and Dahlin only played like 19. And you had mentioned about Byram, and Byram also was not on the penalty kill. And I think maybe Lindy Ruff is seeing a little bit of what you were seeing and I was seeing there, that he might be tiring a little bit. He only had a couple of seconds on the penalty kill. But I just have to bring up Samuelsson. I mean, even if he didn't score a goal, I think I might have made him the first star of the game. Or Luukkonen was first star, Samuelsson was second. Even without that goal, he played, I think, the most minutes on the team.
Yes.
He played over 7 minutes on the penalty kill. He had 6 block shots. He had 6 body checks. He had a goal where it was a great read by him to get himself, to read the play, to get himself open. I couldn't have been more impressed with Samuelsson the way he played. And they needed him. When you're going to kill 7 penalties, which isn't ideal, you better have somebody ready to go. And Timmins, he had more time than Dahlin also, because he also was over 7 minutes on the penalty kill. So I can't say enough about the job I saw Samuelsson do in that game. I thought he was great.
And Dahlin was in the box twice, which might have flipped that.
That might have gone against him too.
Power too. I mean, Samuelsson played 4 seconds more than Power, and Power had more shifts. What a great night for him.
Yes, it was. No, he was excellent also. And Timmins, even though he got over 20 minutes, and I don't think he was overwhelmed by it at all. I mean, his 5-on-5 for the most part was pretty good. His penalty killing was stellar. And, to get that out of Timmins, I think you get a bonus there.
Yeah, and there was a moment in this game where Power and Timmins were on the ice together, and Power drags the puck way down to the goal mouth and throws it across the crease, and Timmins is the guy there trying to that's the Sabres. Even Connor Timmins is Eddie Olczyk would have loved it. He's at the blue paint trying to get a pass from coming across from his D partner, which is just, describe the Buffalo Sabres in one 10-second clip. Like, there it is. That's them this year.
He every now and then surprises you. I mean, when Benson scored the goal in Game 3, who was the guy that sent the cross-ice pass through the crease for the tap-in? It was Timmins.
Yep.
Who actually saw Benson over there and put the puck right on his stick, so where he could tap it in. So every now and then he will surprise you offensively.
And Norris showed up too. I want to mention. I don't think his name has come up yet.
Well.
He made obviously a great pass on the Samuelsson goal. And I just thought was way more noticeable at both ends of the ice last night than he had been.
I was saying to Joe Yerdon as he was coming up the ice on that, I go, Joe, he is really skating well. And as I was getting the word tonight out of my mouth, he made the pass and they scored. Yeah. And Zucker, Helenus with Zucker and Quinn, I thought Zucker and Quinn both were better, especially Zucker. I mean, he made some good plays to Helenus for one-timers unfortunately he couldn't capitalize on, but it's just another one reason why Zucker's on a dry spell, because even when he makes good plays, they don't wind up in the net. And, he's just kind of snake-bitten right now. But those were good plays. Not having the TV, I thought when Montreal was challenging the goal, they were challenging Quinn because on his backhand, his stick hit the glove. The glove was not in the net. His stick put it in the net, which is illegal. I think had they challenged that, they would have won it either. The Helenus play, I'm looking at and going,
Yeah, that's a coin flip. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think – I looked at it slow motion. I'm not sure he got pushed in there, but I don't know if he impeded the goalie either.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Right.
If I were Montreal, I would have challenged Quinn's stick putting the glove in the net. I think you win that in 2 seconds. And by the way, you guys will love this. Brian Koziel timed it. That delay was 9 minutes.
I was just about to ask that. Yep. How long was that?
He timed it. 9 minutes.
Way to suck the life out of a playoff game.
Exactly.
And give Montreal an opportunity to just completely reset. The Sabres opened the game like 9 or 10-1 on shots. They were flying going into that first commercial timeout, and now we got to sit for 10 minutes. It was like Montreal got an intermission.
I guess the game got its life back.
And how does the game change if Buffalo, if they don't win that challenge? It's 2-0 and are going on the power play.
And the crowd is out of it, but now the challenge going their way brings the crowd back into it, and here comes Montreal now.
I don't want to,
Yeah.
think any of that necessarily is a conspiracy. I did wonder about that, however, when Luukkonen was getting his mask worked on. Good time for a break.
That did take quite a while. I wondered how long. Did you notice there was one of the equipment guys working on the mask? There's another guy standing
In the way.
but he's got a second mask. He does, but he's not showing it off. He's holding it like at his hip, kind of like, I don't want the ref to know that we have a backup mask because we want to take our time fixing this mask.
And we can
The
block
referee was right
cameras.
next to Luukkonen. I
Yep.
was the other way. I was like behind the bench. I could see them trying to fix the mask. I could see the referee. I did not see the second mask, and I was wondering where
Yep.
it was.
There was
Because I'm thinking
yep.
by now there should be a second match because he got one. I know
Right.
he has
They
one.
definitely was there, and I think the whoever was holding it was trying to keep it out of sight for as long as possible. Because I thought there might be a moment where the official's just going to say, "Get another mask." This is absurd.
No doubt the Sabres equipment people, who are, I'm sure, highly competent, were doing their best there. But it did remind me of me trying to fix anything at home, which is, all right, hand that to me. And then I sort of fiddle with it for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I give it back. I don't know. I think you probably should throw it out.
Yeah, this is
And
gonna work.
Elliot Friedman tweeted today that he thinks diving in this series is going to be addressed.
Well, yeah.
Let's-
Lindy,
okay.
Lindy is setting the table for that. I've not heard Saint Louis on it, but Lindy last night and again today has made the point, like, they're going to call that stuff. I try to tell the team, but, they're going to go down easy, make it look like the biggest thing in the world or whatever. Like, I feel like he's just fishing for one embellishing call.
And
is
he
all he's
did
doing.
say today, too, that everybody does it.
Right.
He goes, because at this time of year, they're all trying to get power play.
Right.
So he said, everybody does it, and our guys have to realize it.
Right.
Very good, Paul. Enjoy the rest of your travels today.
I will. Time to get the rest of the way home.
Yeah.
All right.
Not necessarily
know
such
our-
an easy section of this drive.
At least we know our equipment works in the parking lot in the middle of Ontario. That's cool.
You sound great. We missed the slither, but I mean, clear as a bell.
Should stay
Yeah, I'm
there.
sorry.
Stay there to cover the games, Paul. This parking
Yeah.
lot. This is
Here's Paul Hamilton from Burlington in advance of Game
optimal,
6.
the GO train station. Right. Thanks, Paul. Safe travels.
Take care, guys.
There's Paul Hamilton on the West.